part two of the time machine. Now, most of the time in space-time continuums, if you're into sci-fi, you'll understand exactly what the hell I'm talking about. One event can change everything. Butterfly effect. You know, you kill a fly in Japan, something happens in America. You kill a fly in America, something happens in Japan. That kind of thing. Well, when it comes to space-time continuums, that shit's real. If space and time continuums are real, that shit is real. Which is why if they ever made a time machine, I'm pretty sure they would ban traveling backwards, or they would ban your ability to go back and try to change something. Henceforth, the characters from The One would probably exist, or Time Cop with Van Damme would probably exist to make sure that people don't do anything stupid to change the natural order of life in the world. Which is always going to be a good thing because you need law and order in the world to make the world productive and keep it successfully running. Now, if the space and time continuum can't be resolved by your event, then you can change it freely and not affect everything. That would be great. So, in my theory of saying that the only person whose life you can affect is yours. Now, there would be one exception. Alright, and this is the only exception. If someone you were going to marry was going to die on a certain day and time, and you knew that you could change it, and it wouldn't cost you or them or the world anything, you could do that. But you could only do one thing. You can either save their life and change it, or save and change your life. Now, if you know they're going to die, but you're going to get married, unless this person dies before you get the chance to do that, you can go back and change that. For those who don't understand, this one event can, if it's like you knew you wanted to marry this girl, but you knew she was going to die on this date, and you never got the chance to meet her to marry her, you can change that event. Alright? But that's it. You can only do that one thing. But it won't affect anybody else's life but yours. And maybe hers, which would probably change the whole space-time continuum. You see where I'm going, how confusing that shit is? Exactly. So, therefore, if we allow you to do that, but then, let's say you do that, and then she doesn't even marry you. She doesn't even acknowledge your existence because you saved her life doesn't mean shit. So, therefore, let's keep it at how I had it in the first place. The only event that you can change is something in your own life, and you can only change one event. If you change, let's say you decide you want to go back in time and make sure that your eyes, when you're born, are permanently blue. Okay, done. Nothing else you can do except for have blue eyes and come back to the future and live out the rest of your life. Now, if your life is totally miserable and you come back to live out the rest of your life, wow, you wasted that trip. You know, where, like I said, I would rather go back in time and wipe myself out of existence just so that I don't have to suffer in life. Now, a lot of people won't be brave enough to admit that they would do the same thing. But a lot of people have come through worse waters than me. I'm just going through it. And the thing is, the reason why I said that is because I've suffered so much in life. I don't know what being happy is anymore. I don't know what a good life is because I've never had one. I've had great moments in life. I will not lie. Not everything has been pissy ass black. There have been shades of gray in there that were great. There have been shades of white and black in there that have been fucking horrible. And like I said, between the good and the bad is way more heavier than the good. Because I got fucked out of my life and my plans due to other people's choices bleeding into my life. You see where I'm going? It's different for everyone. There are some people like, okay, well, I'll go back in time and I'll change my gender. It's a lot of people that would do that. A lot of people aren't going to be honest enough to put that in the little box below. You're not. We all have our quirks and our greeks, and some of them are so personal that you won't be honest with me to put them there. Oh, don't think that I wouldn't do that if I thought that for a New York minute, changing my gender would make my life better now. Oh, fuck yeah, it'd be done. I'd be the baddest lesbian that ever was, but it would be fucking done. But for me, it ain't even about that. Because my life has been so damn bad, I don't think my gender would fucking matter. But if I don't exist, I don't suffer at all. And there's only two sure ways to end suffering once you're born. In the two sure ways is it's just death. There is no more suffering and death, unless unfortunately you die and go to hell. Because the only thing promised to you in hell is a sea of brimstone and fire. That's pretty much it. And burning flesh forever, and forever never ends. So you're gonna have to get used to it. But if you don't exist, you can't go to heaven, and you can't go to hell, and you can't be on earth. So that's kind of it's a conundrum, but it's a good conundrum because if you don't exist, there's no pain, there's no suffering, there's no love, there's no hate, there's no racism, there's no bigotry, there's no people fighting over a fucking statue, there's no people doing anything. You'll never have to see war. You'll never feel the joys of sex, which is about the only good thing about being alive. And you'll never feel the joy of being a parent, a teacher, someone to guide people through life and treat them well or be mistreated by them. You know, there's a lot of possibilities that you could or could not do, prefer not to go through if you don't exist. If you don't exist, there's so much that you won't go through because everybody's story is different. Everybody. Everybody's life is full of bumps in the road. Mine just happened to have a lot more bumps than most people. My inability to say no, my Mr. Nice Guy syndrome. You know, hell, if I didn't exist, half the things that has happened to me would never have happened the way they happened, because they wouldn't happen at all. You understand that time complexity? A time complexity is where what I just said in a loop of time is like separating this headphones. Two journeys. Existence, non-existence. If you look at existence, you see that that's a big bump right there. My bump started way down here. And it didn't stop there. It's still way up here. Well, let's say I had this life, the one I planned out, where everything just went fine. That would be great. That shit ain't happening. So, if you're in a situation like this, and you don't exist, there is no crossroads. There is no pain. There is no suffering. Of course, the opposite of it, there is no love. There is no joy. But there's nothing. And there's nothing wrong with nothing. Now, I'm pretty sure most scientists can analyze this and figure out what I'm saying. But for all you people who lack imagination or lack the ability to concentrate and think for yourself or figure out what's going on inside your own brain, it makes total nonsense to you. But for me, because I know what I'm talking about, because it's my video, it makes perfect sense to me that if I had a time machine and I could only affect my life and it wouldn't affect the world in any way, shape, or form, it wouldn't change the presidencies, it wouldn't make anything better for anybody else except for me, then I would do that. Because, okay, going back in time and making yourself rich, David Xanatos, that worked out for him for a while until Overon and them showed up. So like I said, there's always a positive and a negative. Except, in the event that you make it so that you don't exist, there is no negative. Or at least not for you. Might be negative for the world because you may have been meant to do something that no one else could do. But if you don't exist, no one will ever know what you were meant to do because you didn't exist. I'm losing you. But anyway, the whole concept is, because my life has been so bad, since it's been so messed up on so many levels, especially on cellular levels, it would be much easier for me had I not existed. I would have never suffered. You know, never a day would have gone by. No one would ever know me. That's not a bad thing because no one knows me now. I don't think that it would really make too much of a difference if I didn't exist. I know it wouldn't make a difference for me because I didn't exist. You know, there once was an episode of Good Times where J.J. Walker or James Evans or whatever the hell his character name was, he said, I wish I was never born. I wish I was never born. And then he woke up and they had a white guy that was a substitute. It's like one of my favorite episodes of Good Times. It's kind of like that. So, you know, if you don't exist and no one knows you, you can't suffer. And the other thing is, if you did it like J.J. Walker, you know, but you exist but you don't exist where no one can see you, but you can see the world, as it unfolds around you, as you just watch, and you never age, and you never suffer, and you don't have to eat, and you don't have to do anything. You never have lust or any of those other human emotions that you have to deal with. I could probably do that too. Living in a different dimension, but seeing everything unfold, be like the Watcher from Marvel Comics. I could do that. I would much rather do that because I don't have to interfere because I don't have the ability to. No one can see me. No one can feel me. No one can hear me, and all I do is watch. That wouldn't be too bad, considering living and being able to feel pain and going through the emotional strife of arguing with your family, arguing with your friends, arguing with people who want to punch you in the face as much as they want to look at you, arguing with the fact that girls don't give you a second look, arguing with the fact that only the girls who are harmful on the eyes really want you, but they don't want you for anything other than your money, arguing that all the beautiful girls only want you if you have money, which kind of makes me a flake because I don't have anything, and I'm not as ugly as I was back in 2007 when I burnt off my face. So, no pain. Unfortunately, in the real world, in any world, you can't exist without having pain. Whether it is emotional or physical, pain is a part of life. So, if you understood what I meant in the first video of why I said what I said, this is my time machine. If I could go back in time, convince my father to not have my mother as the second child's mother. Look, I don't want you to have me. Say, not because I don't love you, but because I do. But more importantly, because you love me and because I love myself more enough to know that if I am born, nothing good will come from this, especially for me. Now I could go back in time and flip that script and say the same shit to my mom. And that shit probably would work out twice as bad. With my luck, there'd be two of me. So yeah, that's not the parent I want to talk to. Because she doesn't have to do anything but carry me for 9 months. Now, my father, on the other hand, he doesn't plant the seed. I don't exist. So he's the one that I would need to go to. Understand? So when you are thinking about this, while you're in your collective minds of the circle of life, boy meets girl, boy fucks girl, boy impregnates girl, girl carries baby to life, for the cycle to start all over again with another boy growing up, meeting a girl, fucking girl, getting baby, carry on. It's a never-ending cycle of human existence. How many of you are brave enough to admit to yourself that your life would probably be better if you didn't exist or if you were born into a different family? Am I the only one brave enough to say that? I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true, but it's true. I would say 2 factors before I get off this thing. 2 factors. If I was born into a different family that only had 2 children, I'd have probably been alright. My gender wouldn't matter, but I would have been alright. Unless I was born into a family of a man who likes to molest his own kids. So, you kind of got to weigh that out. Now, if I'm born into a family with a man who likes to molest his own kids, but I'm his son, I got a less chance of being molested. Then again, I got a greater chance of being molested, but depending on this guy's fetish. Alright? So, let's say I'm born into a family where we're both girls, and our father likes to rape us. That's not going to be cool either. So, are you swinging more to the non-existent thing? This is why I'm swinging more to the non-existence thing. Because I don't really think that your gender would have anything to do with how your life turns out, really. I think it depends on the family you're born into that your gender would probably affect it. Now, in my family, I'll be honest, it's not jealousy. If anything, it's more anger issue where my mom seems to love my younger brother more than she loves me. I'm cool with it. I've accepted it a long time ago. But she also seems to love my sisters more than she loves me. And I'm cool with that. I've accepted it. But I've never been accepted into the family as me being me. You understand? Non-existence, acceptance, no pain, no suffering. Now for all you people who are living an alternative lifestyle. Alright? I'm sure there has been quite a few mornings where you woke up and said, man, if I didn't exist, this shit would have never happened. Or if I was born in the right body, this shit would have never happened. Hey, you're on that same path as me. You just aren't man enough or woman enough or transgender enough to admit it. Hell, who's to say? I'd been born a woman, even my mom would have loved me better. Hell, if I'd been born a woman, I know myself, because I watch a lot of porn, I'd be the baddest lesbian that ever is, because I love getting pussy. So, being the person receiving a dick, yeah, that doesn't really work for me. So, now if I was a woman, it probably still wouldn't work for me, because I like pussy, period. So I don't think that it would really matter. I actually think that if I had been born a woman, my mama would probably hate me more because I would be a lesbian. Simple as that. So, you kind of gotta weigh the pros and cons on that shit. You really do. But if I don't exist, I've lost nothing. Now, if I don't exist and can remember everything I've gone through, that would be like being in hell. So, but if I don't exist and can't remember anything that I've gone through, perfection. And in the end, I think that's what all humans are really seeking. We're all seeking perfection. So let me make a third video, because this is 16 minutes long, which is a lot longer than I wanted it to be.